Good evening, friends. Thank you for such a great introduction, and thank you for remembering Nayak, one of my favorite films, Shankar, director whom I admire. Thank you, Ficci. Thank you, all of you all. Sandeep, for making this happen. Shobhita, Aditya, all of you all. And thank you, Disney, plus Star, and the entire team, the producers and all. And I'm really privileged and honored to be here. It's a great feeling, and coming to your question, how did I approach? I would be lying to you if I say that I didn't see the show, or was not inspired by, or I was not a fan of Hugh Laurie. Obviously, I had seen him in House, and then I saw The Night Manager, and I was completely taken aback by his performance. And of course, we both are two different people, looking people. Our presence, our personalities are different. I don't know. He's done a lot of theatre. He's been working since many, many years, done television. He's, if you see his old television shows, he's a great comic actor. He's brilliant, absolutely. And great voice, and I said, na mera paas wo voice hai, na wo personality hai, na wo aankhein hain, and he just looks the part of Rupa. So I said, will I be able to pull it off? And, the way I am, I go with instinct, with gut. And instinctively I felt it's a no-brainer. It's a great role. The entire team is fantastic. And I just said yes. And then I started thinking about it. I heard the script, what Sandeep and his writers had created. We heard it in one go. I just loved it, the Hindi adaptation. And then I started, it just, the roles and characters don't happen overnight. It's like you keep on thinking about it, and, and just till you face the camera. Even when you face the camera in the first few days, sometimes you go right, sometimes. So it takes a little time. And you keep on understanding. कभी-कभी तो रिलीज के बाद पता चलता है कि कैरेक्टर क्या है. So, but you just go with the flow, and that's what I did, and I'm so happy that people have liked the show. That from the time I started my career, if you see the films I've done, the kind of people I've worked with, the directors I've worked with, and if I did a Telugu film, I did a Kannada film, then I did MS Satyush kahan se guzar gaya. I'm sure people have, I don't know if I want to educate them, but that's one of my first films I did with Satyu Saab, and where I almost played a very kind of a character who's trying to find himself and ultimately becomes the way the father is, a complete capitalist. So I've done weird stuff from the beginning of my career. So I don't go what is, villain hai, hero. I like my role. I like the people. I feel it's going to be a great journey. And I just say yes to it, and so that's what it is. People who were seeing me as a hero, so jo role mil rahe the, beggars can't be choosers. When I started my career, first decade, obviously they were choosing me. Then I started choosing some films. I came to a situation where I could choose films. And then, for me, it's always the director, the filmmaker, the writer, the writing, what's on paper, and then I take my decision, yeah. Hero ho, villain ho, character ho, supporting role ho, kuch bhi ho. I just do it, yeah. The writing was so terrific, and then I used my own imagination. And of course, Hugh Laurie was there for inspiration. All these things, keeping all these in mind, and slowly, steadily. I was just, what happens is, what is the role, the character, and something about your personality also is there. It's always there, what you are as, and then the character. So it's a combination of both. And what you see is me as a person also, and me as a character also. There are a lot of things which are me in that film, like what I am, and certain things, how I'm a family man. There's certain things, how I react to my, my friendships, my passion for for work. So and my passion. So you just use all these memories, certain things in what you have, and use it in the character, and use when you perform. It's a long process. Is too long. I have to sit with you for hours to tell you.
I think the decision to change episode 1 and have it be a young girl was the writers and Sandeep's call. And I think it was a great one in hindsight. I think everyone seems to really feel like the first episode, really anchors you emotionally sufficiently to then make you be on the side of the protagonist. And then you're with him, after you felt that. So yeah, I think as an actor, you work with what you're given. And these decisions weren't mine. I think it helped that I wasn't smoking since it's been 8 years that I've quit, and it's a pain to have to like smoke on set and then not. So thank you, Sandeep, for not putting me through that. Though yeah, every now and then a sly cigarette is in the name of work is welcome, but no. I think for me, I was inspired by original performances. I think all the performances in the show were great. And as an actor, you want to be inspired by that, but you don't want to have to go. I didn't want to re-look at it. I didn't want to go back to it again and again. I felt like Sandeep and the writers had done enough to make it their own, to adapt it. And I think that's one of the things that people are noticing a lot about the show. It feels like it's not a copy-paste job, that's an understatement. I think they've really managed to make it feel completely grounded over here and made it feel fully realized to the Indian subcontinent. And for me, I had enough stuff on the page to draw from, and by virtue of just staying true to what he and the writers gave me, it ended up being different. But I didn't approach it with that as the thing in the forefront of my mind.
I know we've been talking of the writers a lot, so that's Sridhar, Akshat, Shantanu. Also, I have a co-director, Priyanka, who are not here. So, of course, we are talking on behalf of everyone. I think, first of all, this is a very exciting panel for all of us to be here because we are talking to peers, people who have probably been in similar shoes, who probably understand the troubles of adaptation. There are many pitfalls, many a slip between the lip and the cup here. I think there were two viewpoints which we approached this from. One was when you doing an adaptation. This is the second time I'm doing an adaptation. The first time was season 1 of Arya, which I was the co-creator on. And in both the cases, the question we were asking ourselves is, why are we adapting it? And how do we make the story feel like it's coming from our heart and our land? This was the key question. ये कहानी क्यों हमारी है? Why not just dub it in Hindi and watch it? They're great actors in any case, right? Why would you just do that? Why would you want to see Anil Kapoor, Shobhita, Adi do it? It has to come from our own point of view to the world. And somewhere the thing which we went by is like, what are the things which we think we can change to make it more Indian, more us? Better or worse is for everyone to judge. But for example, the opening episode, the question we always asked ourselves is, what makes a regular guy or a regular girl, anyone who, like one of us, having a everyday job, turn around a life and become a spy, right? And the question is, it has to be the John Le Carre or even the original writers of the British show. They all went by the idea that it is love. But we thought, what is deeper than love? And we thought guilt. एक 14 साल की बच्ची जब मर जाती है, the guilt of that will weigh heavier on your soul than anything else. So we took a lot of calls based on a very unpopular line, which I'll say. Like when they asked me whether I want to work on this adaptation, I said there are more things I want to change than the things I want to retain. So are you sure you want to retain me then? And yet at the same time, across the world or anywhere where I've traveled, or including this set, there were many fans of the show. Many people who love the show. Despite the same thing which I see as a flaw, someone else sees it as "Arey, to bahut acha tha." So the approach to that has been I would say, the joy which me and Sridhar had to tackle. Some places we've absolutely followed our gut. Some places we've said, I think this is an audience winner. Let's just allow it to float and see how it feels. But even after the writing, through the whole process of our workshops with the actors, and now I know workshop is an often abused term, but genuinely in this one, the amount of time Adi, Shobhita, Anil sir and everyone, Tilotama, everyone spent on the character. Like Anil sir, he doesn't talk about it. He has a Lal diary. Okay? When you go to his house for a discussion, randomly he's called you at like 7:30 saying, "Acha, Sandeep, you up?" So message आएगा आपको, Sandeep, you up? And you said, yes sir. Of course you're not up. Your phone is just buzzed. And he said, come see me. Let's just, I have something to chat about. Can you come over? And you don't know what is going to come. And you reach his house, like Lal Diary aati hai. And it's written all these questions of character. Who's this character? Where does he come from? Why is he saying this line? Why this? I said, homework karke aana padega to answer it. So everyone's really put in a lot of their heart and made it their own. Like Rungta, the last name. It came through a discussion with sir. We had named it something else, and then AK said, the name has to feel more specific, more interesting. The idea of making it shipping, all of that came through various discussions with Adi. You're talking of the way we found the tone of character. We tried so many different things with it, and all of it came from Adi. None of it came from Tom or how the thing. It came from the material. How was he looking at it? And somewhere we found a stride and said, okay, let's just go with it. And as sir says, sometimes you feel character समझ में आता है show खत्म होने के बाद, release होने के बाद. But sometimes you feel it in your heart in an instant. You feel like ये है, इसको पकड़ के रखो, इसको मत छोड़ो. So most of our conversations which me and Aditya always used to have between each schedule will be, Aditya, don't change anything. Don't change anything. I remember so many calls I would just say, Adi, change nothing. And since Shobhita is here, our process with Shobhita is beautiful. I'm happy he's given the mic to me first, because once she takes the mic, you're going to be mesmerized with her answers. I think me and AK keep saying, "Arey yaar, Shobhita is on the panel. We should speak first."
This is such an august gathering, so many intelligent people, and with my team saying all these nice things about me, I'm absolutely terrified about sounding like an idiot. I mean, Kaveri is a river in the south, but I don't think that has any connection to me playing someone from south in this. It's not tied up. I think the connection with the name has more to do with water and what it represents. Water can be still, but it can be very deep, and so often the currents can change from day to night. Like her life is very turbulent, much like water, but there's also it's serene. So we thought there was an interesting parallel, and I really liked the name. I thought it represents her quite beautifully. As for I don't look at characters in terms of how much footage they have. I don't think it's the most significant thing at all. In the larger arc of the character, there are a lot of answers. Answers should not be given, they should be arrived at, is what I feel. And I feel like with her character, we know and we see as much as we need to. And sometimes you want to lean a little bit closer to hear her better, to know what lies simmering beneath the surface. And I think that's really nice writing. So I didn't feel the need for more. It was enough. And I don't think mystery is created. I think when you say as much as you have to, and I guess it's not a blabbering character, so it was easy to retain that. And much credit to the way it was written, the way it was shot, and the way the primary characters interact with her. So how you are with me is very different from how you are with your partner, your parent, your friend. But the minute one sees you in all these perspectives, they get a better understanding of who you are, right? But if Kaveri is seen only from the perspective of her lover, her partner, and from this special creature, you don't really know her from any other perspective. So maybe holding back is what gives her that mystery.
I think horses for courses. I mean, I don't think there's any one right way. I think the way that Sandeep approached, I think Anil sir's and my equation on screen is I don't think we met at all. Yeah. I think he preferred it for us to just get there on set. And of course, I think Anil sir and me were I was fortunate enough to work with Anil sir on Malang, so we had worked before. And I think that's why Sandeep felt confident enough that we had that professional understanding was already there. and that it might have been better for the characters to just kind of meet in the moment, right, Sandeep?
I think the way we approached it is like it's a boxing match. There are two boxers, and both need to prepare individually. So AK sir and we would prepare his whole world of friends, family. So AK sir would have his workshop with Shobhita, with Dada, Saswata. While his workshop was the only little thing which we did. Of course, we had moments with the girl, with
Just a little bit with Safina.
with Safina, and a very little with Nasir, with Tilotama.
With Tilotama, yeah.
So the idea was it was preparation of two different worlds, and then see them both explode when they both meet. You know, both don't know what the other's prepping for. You know, so it's theoretically beautiful. I hope it works on screen and it looks good.
Yeah, but I think one thing that was also interesting was that we ended up workshopping a couple of sticky scenes, stuff that we were not so sure of. That I think we really benefited from the workshop process by going in there and exploring those scenes. And it helps so much when you're not on the clock and the whole world doesn't depend on that working on that day. And that's one learning that I had, that, I mean, it's all very well to workshop, but it's important to know how to workshop. And I think that's something that I learned from Sandeep on this, because we were able to explore scenes uninhibited and finally, at least if not find it, get closer to the answer after those experiences.
Obviously, you know, this character, Sharadurungta, is a gambler. He goes with instinct. And he trusts people, but still trusts them easily. And the way I imagine, वो किसी को मिलता है, किसी को देखता है और बोलता है यार इसमें कुछ बात है. There is something about it, and that's what I am in real life also, to a certain extent, which I could relate to. That if I've gone wrong also, I've been betrayed. You know, everybody's betrayed. You know, most of the time you're right in your instincts of people, but sometimes you go wrong. So I feel, and as you say that I've read the script, but overall when you go on the set, you don't remember the entire script. You are going, stay in the moment. And the scene given, and you know, you can't remember 7 hours of the entire script, you know. It's there at the back of the mind, but you forget about it and you're in the moment. So that's the reason I'm warm, because I feel इसमें बात है कुछ जो है, you know, ultimately. So that's the reason that I'm nice to him, and I was not feeling any kind of it's a gambler's instinct. ये काम का आदमी है, और वो बाद में काम का नहीं निकलता, वो बाद में पता चलेगा. But till that time I know that this he's younger, and he trusts him, he trusts his girlfriend also. But धीरे धीरे पता चलता है कि सब गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं, you know. And this is what happens. Yeah. Why did you do this to me? Yeah? Why
Money,
did you?
money, it's all about money.
Huh? Just because I don't have 6 packs, huh?
So that you have.
Huh? Huh?
And it's not
Don't
just
do this. Yeah? Next season, I'm going to have 6 packs. So I want you back.
Have you heard of Tenali Raman?
Yeah.
So Tenali is a place, it exists. I'm from there.
okay.
I grew up in Vizag. I speak Telugu at home. I think in Telugu. I moved to Mumbai after my high school, and I speak Hindi now. It's been a good 13, 14 years in Mumbai. Another whatever. So my life, so I don't know where home is. And we are all products of the experiences we've had, but we are also products of the experiences we aspire to have. So I don't think any person represents one fixed thing. You are not just Chennai. You're also this guy sitting in power in a suit asking me a question. And it's very separate from the reality of North Madras. So Arey, don't clap and all, yeah. I just feel...
I told you all.
Even I said it. I said it first.
These guys.
That's why she's got 2 mics, you know.
So I just feel that identity is porous. There are no boundaries, it's not defined. Who I was a couple of years ago is very, very different from the person I am now. And I am pretty positive. I would be fortunate if I am a different person to some extent in some time to come. And it means that I'm interacting with life with an open heart and I'm absorbing whatever's good and I'm changing with the times. And as for characters, as a child watching cinema, I watched Telugu cinema, I watched Tamil cinema, I watched Hindi cinema, and all I remember was performances that reached the heart, jokes that landed. I didn't even speak Hindi when I was a child. So I don't think representation necessarily, it should not be taken out of context. I'm genuinely very, very interested in submitting to a larger story that touches the heart. There are films, silent films with no language. I don't know what they're representing, except the truth of human emotions, right? There's fantasy films. I love Harry Potter. What are they representing? I don't know. So I think films, characters should represent sentiments, should represent feelings, our past and the future we aspire to have. Identity should not be a fixed entity.